Hello, I'm Richard Balls, Communications Executive for New Anglia Local Enterprise Partnership, and I'm based at Centrum, which is a large office complex on Norwich Research Park. The LEP works with businesses, local authority partners and education institutions to drive growth and enterprise in Norfolk and Suffolk. We make sure that businesses have the funding, support, skills and infrastructure that they need to flourish, and that the voice of our business community is heard loud and clear. My role is all about promoting the LEP, so having good all-round communication skills is extremely important. I need to write content that people will read and engage with, whether that's a short post on LinkedIn or Twitter, or a longer piece for a magazine or website. Having an eye for what makes a story is also vital, so I'm always on the lookout for things that we can share and that will help promote our programme of activities. An interesting fact about me, I write books about rock music. My first was a book about Ian Dury, the singer. The second was about Stiff Records, the label that launched his career, and that of Madness and lots of other original acts. And I've just completed my third book, which is a biography of the Pogues frontman Shane MacGowan. Writing and researching books is incredibly hard work, but it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done. I went to Thorpe St Andrews School near Norwich a very long time ago and would describe myself as a pretty average student. My favourite subject was English, so even then I was drawn to writing and storytelling, and I also enjoyed art. Even as a teenager I knew that I wanted to become a writer, and I remember talking to a careers advisor at school about working on a newspaper. When I left school I went to City College to do my A-levels, and then I successfully applied to do a one-year training course in newspaper journalism. My first job was as a reporter on a group of weekly newspapers in North London, which was a brilliant grounding. I covered council meetings, criminal courts, inquests, and interviewed everybody from local councillors and MPs to celebrities. I was obsessed with pop music, which I had been from an early age, and I took over the music column, reviewing records and local gigs. For the next 9 years I worked in Dublin, mainly for national newspapers like the Irish Times and the Irish Independent. I covered serious news stories and wrote extensively about crime, which there was a lot of in Ireland, and of course gigs. I moved back to Norfolk more than 20 years ago, joining the Eastern Daily Press as the public affairs correspondent and then becoming the crime correspondent. I was then appointed news editor of Norwich Evening News, after which I decided that it was time for a change of direction, so I moved into communications. I ran the communications team at Norwich City Council for a decade, overseeing corporate communications, media relations, web, graphic design and print. My first private sector comms role was at TMS Media, and from there I joined the LEP. I've never tired of writing, and I enjoy creating press releases, website copy, social media posts and other content. It's all storytelling at the end of the day, whatever the format. When I was younger, I never planned to work in communications of this kind, but it was a natural progression from journalism, and it uses a lot of the same skills. If I could give my younger self one piece of advice when at school, it would be to apply myself more. The most valuable thing I have learned in my career is that if you can talk to anyone and get on well with people, it will carry you a long way. We often think of skills as physical things, physical tasks, but being a good communicator will serve you well whatever path you take. Jobs and careers don't always go to plan, but learning from mistakes and difficult experiences is part of life. Over the years I found myself without a job. In Ireland I was out of work for the best part of a year after the newspaper group that I worked for closed suddenly. That was tough at the time, but I never gave up and I came through it, and not long after that I got my first book deal. COVID-19 has completely changed the way that we work at the LEP. We now work from home remotely, and we have our meetings via Zoom and Teams. Although it felt odd at first, we've adapted really well, and now it seems the normal way to work. Apart from filming video footage face-to-face, I can do most of my job remotely. Although the future is uncertain, and COVID-19 has had a huge impact on students, there will be opportunities for you. They may not be the ones that you'd always hoped for, But if you can be adaptable and look for roles that require the skills that you have, you will get that all-important start.